Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Good Maharaj and Siva Prabhupada. Swapna Mataji, whenever you're ready, can start Mataji.
Hare Krishna devotee, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we'll continue reading from 3rd Canto, chapter 23, from text 13 onwards. It was a wonderful structure, bedecked with all sorts of jewels, adorned with pillars of precious stones, and capable of yielding whatever one desired. It was equipped with every form of furniture and wealth, which tended to increase in the course of time. Text 14 and 15. The castle was fully equipped with all necessary paraphernalia, and it was pleasing in all seasons. It was decorated all around with flags, festoons, and artistic work of variegated colors. It was further embellished with wreaths of charming flowers that attracted sweetly humming bees, and with tapestries of linen, silk, and various other fabrics. Text 16. The palace looked charming with beds, couches, fans, and seats, all separately arranged in 7 stories. Text 17. Its beauty was enhanced by artistic engravings here and there on the walls. The floor was of emerald with coral daisies. Text 18. The palace was very beautiful, with its coral thresholds at the entrances and its doors bedecked with diamonds. Gold pinnacles crowned its domes of sapphire. Text 19. With the choicest rubies set in its diamond walls, it appeared as though possessed of ice. It was furnished with wonderful canopies and greatly valuable gates of gold. Text 20. Here and there in that palace were multitudes of live swans and pigeons, as well as artificial swans and pigeons, so lifelike that the real swans rose above them again and again, thinking them live birds like themselves. Thus the palace vibrated with the sounds of these birds. Text 21. The castle had pleasure grounds, resting chambers, bedrooms, and inner and outer yards designed with an eye to comfort. All this caused astonishment to the sage himself. Text 22. When he saw Devahuti looking at the gigantic, opulent palace with a displeased heart, Kardama Muni could not understand her feelings because he could study the heart of anyone. Thus, he personally addressed his wife as follows. Text 23. My dear Devahuti, you look very much afraid. First, bathe in Lake Bindusarovara, created by Lord Vishnu himself, which can grant all the desires of a human being, and then mount this airplane. Text 24. The lotus-eyed Devahuti accepted the order of her husband. Because of her dirty dress and the locks of matted hair on her head, she did not look very attractive. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. And Sri Krishna Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashtamekam Purusha Puranam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Kripam Mudirtamaham Prapadye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are continuing the beautiful section where Devahuti was, yesterday we have seen Devahuti was actually revealing her heart that she's actually interested in bearing children, and with so much love and devotion she served Kardama Muni. Now Kardama Muni is obliged to fulfill her desire, and he also has Ashtasiddhis that he has actually perfected by the mercy of the Lord. It is a byproduct of bhakti. Like there are many byproducts that bhakti actually gives, and Ashtasiddhis are one of them. For a perfected soul like Kardama Muni, it was not at all wonderful, but even he himself is so much amazed. So that is the perfection of bhakti. Like when Prabhupada also, when he writes these scriptures, sometimes he reads them and he gets amazed how these wonderful words actually came out of me. So basically it's a Krishna's blessings. So now in this today's portion of this chapter, we will see how Kardama Muni, to please his beloved wife as well as to serve her and fulfill her desire, he is creating this wonderful aerial mansion. So aerial mansion which is flying on the sky. So from text 13, this aerial mansion is not like a material world creation. So there is a spiritual touch in it. So we can see that every verse there is a spiritual touch in it. So here it says Sarva Kama Dugam. So Sarva Kama Dugam means it can yield all your desires. It can actually fulfill all your desires. So just like the Kalpa Vriksha tree in the spiritual world, here also the description is similar. Even though it's a creation of Kardama Muni within the material sphere, it still has the touch of, because it's a spiritual creation by the Sankalpa of Krishna. So here, Sarva Kamadugam Divyam Sarva Ratna Samanvitam. So it has all the jewels, different kind of jewels. It is bedecked with different precious stones, jewels, and it is capable of whatever one desires. Like the moment, so this is completely spiritual, just like our temple. We can imagine, like as soon as we enter the temple, the atmosphere is transcendental atmosphere. So we feel different emotions, different feelings, and even though one will come with different background, someone will be upset, someone will be tired. The emotions gets changed. So similarly, this the aerial mansion is also has certain atmosphere that whatever you come with desire, it fulfills your desire. And it has many furnitures and manistambair upaskrutam. So it has many furnitures which were actually bedecked with a lot of jewels again. So now Prabhupada is making several points that Kardama Muni, to create this aerial mansion by his yoga siddhis. The yoga siddhis are generally Ashtasiddhis are like Anima, Lagima, Prapti. So these are yoga siddhis, and one of them is to create this creations like what Kardama Muni just did. So Prabhupada says this is not wonderful, especially for anyone who is empowered by Krishna. This is not at all wonderful because Krishna is already floating millions and millions of such universes. And those universes are also carrying so much wealth, so much natural beauty, so many mountains, rivers, so it's not at all wonderful from that perspective. So, and then Prabhupada is making a point that about this this palace being Sarva Kama Dugam, like it is whatever one desires, it can yield, that fulfill that desire. So, and also when Lord Krishna was here on this planet, so he performed several wonderful pastimes, and he also invited demigods, and he also invited the Vishwakarma to construct a beautiful place, Dwaraka, and then on top of a sea, ocean. On that ocean, on top of that Dwaraka, he constructed 16,108 palaces. Those palaces were also bedecked with so many jewels. In the night time, there was no need of any lights. It seems it was self-effulgent. So such a display of beauty was even shown by Lord Krishna. And now Kardamani is displaying a similar tinge of yoga siddhis, basically. So, and there are several descriptions in this chapter about this beautiful mansion. So, I mean, I'll just go through just a summary of what all description, and then we'll discuss. We'll go through some summary points. So here, it had whatever the a particular city. Like if you look at a city, there are skyscrapers, there are live animals, and then there will be lakes. So all of these varieties Kardamuni created in this aerial mansion. So, and also in the so here it is like some specific things are mentioned here. Sarva Kala Sukavaham. So Sarva Kala Sukavaham is like in the summer there may be pleasant, but in the winter it may not be pleasant. In spring it may be pleasant, but fall it may not be pleasant. But here it's not like that. Here it says all seasons it was very pleasing. So this aerial mansion was equipped like that, and also it was equipped with several colors. So colors are generally considered a beauty, and natural like flowers with different colors, and buildings with different colors. So here also there are various colors that was in this mansion. And when there are flowers, there are humming bees also. Then these humming bees are after this beautiful flowers, nectar, and he also created several fabrics, several clothes with silk, beautiful linen, silk, and all other fabrics. Nana vastrair virajitam. So there are various kinds of vastra, means the tapestries he created. And that's another beauty here. Like again, Sarva Kala Sukavaham, we hear only in, this can be only in spiritual places it is possible. So similarly, there are specific points about this aerial mansion, which makes it transcendental here. And then the palace was very, it had a lot of apartments and rooms, and it is not a single story, and there were buildings with multi-stories. Upari Vinashyasta. So there were like multiple stories in these buildings. And Prabhupada points out again in the purport that the multi-story skyscrapers were not actually the modern world creation. These skyscrapers were already there in the Vedic times also. And even in the temples, if you go to South Indian temples, Ranganatha Swami temple or Srirangam, these temples also has multi-stories where one can actually, there are steps to climb to go to the topmost Gopuram also. So, and that is another specific points. And So, and another aspect of this aerial mansion was they were very, very, they looked charming. So here it says there were Kantam, Kashipubi, Kantam. So it was very enchanting and charming. So that is another aspect mentioned. And its beauty was even on the walls, there were emerald and coral bedecked in the walls. So this is similar to some of the descriptions we see from the four Kumaras when they actually go into the Vaikuntha planets. They didn't even enter the planet, but they were actually approaching the seventh door, and they also see similar buildings and walls bedecked with jewels. So here also it says Mahamarkata Stalya. So Markata is one of the emerald. So here also it's mentioned Mahamarkata Stalya. The floor is also bedecked with all these jewels. So now in the modern world, we see many skyscrapers, many buildings, but they're all bedecked with cement colors, different kind of cement colors, but not this valuable jewels. So that was here, it's being pointed out by Prabhupada, that even though the modern world, they can create many skyscrapers, but it is not possible to create such walls and floors with these kind of jewels. But Kardama Muni was able to construct because of his yoga siddhis, yogic powers. And now the palace was again specific descriptions about what kind of a jewels was actually given. Like it says Vajra Kapa Tavat. So it's Vajra is another word here used for diamonds. So there were diamonds bedecked on the floors, and there were also Hema Kumbair Adishtritam. So Hema is another word for gold. So it was the Kumbair is like the peaks of those buildings. So the peaks of the buildings were bedecked with the gold. So just like we see in the temples, the temple's kumbha is basically made in gold in Tirupati and other famous temples. So similarly here, it's all gold crowned, and its domes were made of sapphire. So such beautiful mansion here created by Kardama Muni. And the other aspects mentioned here was and it was also so here Prabhupada mentions that even in the recent times, the Mughal emperors, they actually constructed many palaces, and then they actually put many decorated jewels and stones, but these stones were actually stolen from the other authorities or other places. These royal palaces and rare stones, these were stolen, and he's basically making a point, but these Vedic, some of these Vedic constructions had these jewels, and those were stolen and constructed by Mughal emperors. So, and then another aspect of this mansion was any place without live living entities, either these birds, bees, and all the live living entities. It is not actually lively. It is not so much beauty. So now Kardama Muni is also, when he created this mansion, there were some live animals mentioned here. Hamsha, Paravata, Vratais. So Hamsha is like the swans, Paravata pigeons. So Hamsha and swans, there were many, it seems, on this mansion. And as well as there were Tatra Tatra Nikujjitam. So there were artificial swans also, they were vibrating. Just like a battery operated dolls, they were vibrating, and they were giving impetus for the live birds to come play and come out, thinking there were actually some company to play. So, and they were also making several beautiful sounds. Now the castle, here it says that there are many inner details of the rooms, chambers were also mentioned. Now the outer details of how the kumbha and all that. Now the inner details of rooms, viharasthana vishrama. So vishrama is like the resting places, where we rest. There were many resting chambers, bedrooms, and there are many comfortable places to rest. And even here it says specifically that Vishmapanam Ivat Manaha, Sivat Manaha. So Vishmapanam, like it was very astonishing. Even Kardama Muni was looking at it. He was very astonished. So now here Prabhupada also makes a point that Kardama Muni was living in a very simple bhavanam, like simple hermitage in the shore of river Lake Bindu Sarovar. Now this palace manifested by his yoga siddhis. Now he himself was astonished. How does that by his mystic powers can do such things? By the grace of the Lord. Such opulence at the request of his wife, when he produced, he himself could not understand how such things can happen. Because here again, this important point of the difference between Jiva and Paramatma, Jiva and Ishvara is coming out, that the Lord actually sometimes fulfills our desires just to just to reciprocate with the living entity. And then, but if the living entity is not sober, the living entity might think this is actually my power. But here Kardama Muni was very humble, and he's seeing the Lord's touch on this beautiful aerial mansion. Now he is just contemplating on how it actually happened and what was the power of the Lord's power to manifest all this. So at this time, now Kardama Muni is looking at Devahuti, and Devahuti is basically she is also looking at this gigantic opulent aerial mansion. Now because of Kardama Muni being also a Mahatma and a great devotee, he could, he's also a Trikalagya who knows future. So he's reading her feelings, he's reading her heart, and he could see what is actually going inside her heart. So here it's mentioned Sarva Bhuta Ashaya Abhignaha. So he can read everyone's heart. Here it's mentioned that he can actually study anyone's heart of anyone. So this is again a quality of a great devotee who actually can see the heart of anyone, who could understand the feelings and miseries of others, and they can also feel such compassion for others. So now he is addressing the Devahuti now. So he's saying, so basically he understands the Devahuti's heart, what is going on. So now she's basically, out of all this many years, she was serving Kardama Muni with so much love and affection. Her body is so much emancipated. She becomes so thin. Her hair become matted, and she is not at all looking beautiful. So on the contrary, this beautiful mansion is extraordinarily beautiful. And she was saying, this is very much incompatible for me to satisfy my husband in this body. So she was feeling morose like that. So now understanding that, now Kardama Muni is basically addressing. He's instructing Devahuti to take bath in the Bindu Sarovar. So now he's saying that this Bindu Sarovar was created by Lord Vishnu himself, which can actually grant all the desires of human being. So now here it says idam sukla krutam tirtam. So sukla krutam is basically the word here created by Lord Vishnu. So this Bindu Sarovar can fulfill all the desires. So now here also Prabhupada mentions that now also there are many pilgrims, devotees. They go and take bath in the lake. So in the Vrindavan also people take bath in river Yamuna, in Prayag, in Ganges, and here it says Tirtham Ashisham Yapakam. So Tirtham Ashisham Yapakam is basically refers to fulfillment of desires by bathing in the place of pilgrimage. So Kardama Muni also advised Devahuti to bathe in Bindu Sarovar so she could revive the beauty and luster of her body. So so that this is the verse number 23. So today we are seeing until verse number 24. So the verse number 24 here, Devahuti basically follows his advice, and she takes bath in the Bindu Sarovar. So here in this beautiful chapter again, so we are we are learning how Kardama Muni is after so much devotion to Lord, and he takes upon the Grahastha ashram for the purpose of the spreading the progeny in this universe upon the order of Lord Brahma. So now these Grahastha, in the Grahastha ashram, these two couples are very ideal because the Lord himself is taking birth. As in the future, Lord Kapila will take birth in the womb of Mother Devahuti. They're very ideal couple. So we can learn a lot of reciprocations happening between these two ideal couples. So we can understand from these ideal couples how a Grahastha ashram functions, how the reciprocation happens between husband and wife, and what kind of emotions and feelings happens between the husband and wife, and all this keeping Krishna in the center. So Kardama Muni is actually he meditated so many thousands of years before even accepting Devahuti as his wife, and Lord himself basically recommends Devahuti's ideal companion for Kardama Muni, and Lord himself is basically arranging all this. So this is very extraordinary situation where these things can happen, but we can see here in this pastimes. And Kardama Muni, so here exercising his yogic power, not for his own purpose, but for the purpose of fulfilling the Lord Brahma's order to increase the progeny, and also is reciprocating with his wife, with his very devoted wife Devahuti. So another aspect we can understand is the devotees, many times the devotees have yoga siddhis. They don't exercise for their own pleasure. They exercise for the higher purpose or for somebody else's pleasure. So here again, Kardomuni is exercising, and in this exercise also, in this Yoga Siddhi, also the Lord's hand will be there, so that there won't be any negative or any the so-called whenever this word desire fulfilling comes, we always think there has to be some destruction, otherwise the desire cannot be fulfilled. But transcendental way of fulfilling desires is everything will be positive. It will be on the absolute platform. In order to create a mansion, you have to destroy a tree, and you have to destroy many, you have to dig earth, and all this ugra karma happens generally. But in the transcendental world, it is not so. So here also, this beautiful mansion comes out of the power of the Lord. And there is no description mentioned that, these things created by so much hard work. So it's not like that. So what we can understand is, so the Lord's way of creation and fulfilling the desire is completely absolute platform. So there is no hard work required, and there is no the only requisite principle here is Kardomuni is fully devoted to the Lord and fully surrendered. So that is another aspect we can understand from this beautiful chapter. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Krishna Prabhuji. Wonderful lessons from this session also. Yeah, Hare Krishna. That's all for business to all everyone. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kupasandubhyasya Palitana Pavanabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.